I thought I'd bring out a new deck, and this one's not been featured on a video before. This is the Lantern Oracle, and it is an oracle focused on our shadow. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be seeing what it is that we need to know, what needs to be illuminated, what part of that darkness needs illumination. So if you feel called, maybe stick around, because these shadow readings are incredibly important. And sometimes it can help just clear the way. It helps us see things that maybe we might be struggling to. Maybe we know that there's something there that needs to be unpacked. But with our shadow, that can sometimes be easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. What is it that we need to be aware of? What needs illuminating in our shadow, please? Two things come into mind here. Our first card, number 25, talking about emotional energy. And it talks here about how emotions are messengers. They are here to deliver something. If there is something that we're feeling, what is that messenger trying to tell us? And this card is a lovely little reminder to meet that messenger with appreciation, with gratitude. There is something to be processed here. And sometimes just paying attention to what that emotion is, what this energy is bringing, what messages that carries forward, that can be the first step. It's not an easy one, but it is the first step. But you've also got a card in reverse here. This is card number 40, Inner Integration, which talks about those parts of ourselves. And it might be an emotional part. Maybe there's a certain detachment with that. And this card is all about integrating those parts. Whether you feel like it's you in the present, maybe it's our inner teenager calling out for a bit of support or help, or maybe it's an inner child that just needs embracing. Your higher self will also be with you, trying to give you that guidance, bringing up those emotions, those messages. And this card being in reverse, I feel like that integration, the coming together of the two, is where we start our journey. Listening to the emotions that are trying to come up. What are those messages that are being passed over? And how do we integrate those messages? What is that emotion telling us? Which part of our internal is that pointing to? What part might need a little bit more integration? There's something else in it. What else do we need to know, please? Well, apparently, intention. Intention is incredibly important, and it covers it on this card. Lacking personal direction begets confusion and life as a pawn to somebody else's game of chess. For some reason, we're not quite following us, our own intuition. It might be the things that we're feeling, or maybe it's to do with that integration. We're playing somebody else's game. We're not being totally authentic. We're not listening to those messages. Intuition is a key component, and especially if it's telling you to listen, to look at something, that is where we need to start. But it has to be on your terms. It has to be your game of chess. But that's not it. We've also got radical self-love in reverse. And I don't think I need to go much into this card, because the amount of love that we receive is sometimes dictated by how much love we actually carry for ourselves. Those emotions that aren't being listened to. The integration, allowing parts of us to just be. Radical self-love is what we need. And that starts with just something very small. Listening to an emotion, allowing yourself to feel that emotion, trusting that intuition. What is that next thing to crop up for you? And you'll be faced with a choice. Hopefully you'll consciously hear it. Do I choose that thing, where it might be playing someone else's game? Or do I actually choose that thing, which allows us to hear those messages and to follow our own heart? Radical self-love is needed. This is that first stepping stone. Listen to that. Give yourself that. And if you can't, ask yourself why. And we got distorted desire. And I love this line. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need that's driving it. Is there anything that we're running from? And I mean subconsciously. Is there anything that is being avoided? Because that unconscious drive, not being aware of what it is that we're thinking, feeling, our intuition, not even listening to it. I feel like there is something unconscious going on here. Whether we're just not aware of it, or whether it will be revealed to us as we progress forward. Whenever you feel like taking an action, especially if it's an action that conflicts with these cards here, our emotions, our intuition, our game, our life, sit back and just assess, is this something I'm consciously aware of? Or is this something I can't see? Is this something unconscious? Am I just running a loop here? How can I do things differently? Then we come to that choice. And ultimately, that's you listening to you. Just want to see if there's one more. One more for me, please. Well, it's still talking about this, because I feel like this is very important. Number 7, distorted perceptions. Now, with that last card being in reverse, a bit like the radical self-love, I feel like we just need to try to be a bit more aware of it. They're sending this in reverse to allow it to stay with you, to stay in your conscious mind. So what is this? Well, the message on this card is very simple. Reality is very rarely what we're raised to believe it is. In other words, we don't know everything, which can be a nice little reminder sometimes. But there's something going on here. With all of these other cards, there's something that we're believing. There's something that we're trusting, when it isn't exactly what we think it is. This might be somebody else's belief. It might be somebody else's thought or action that's been put onto you. Reality is rarely what we're taught to believe it is. Something else is going on here. You're figuring out something. You're moving through something. And it's to do with this integration. It's to do with the messages that your emotions are trying to make you aware of. It's also this intuition. I feel like you are leaving a cycle, but this is that awkward bit where we've got to say goodbye, where you don't want to hang around for too long, but you know that you're also moving on. At some point, you're going to have to say it. You're going to have to turn and walk out of the door and allow it to close behind you. But in that new chapter, it's a chapter of us. It's a chapter of playing our own game, living our own life, where there's self-love, where there's conscious decision, where we're not believing that old reality, the stories that we were once told. We can make our own choices now. We listen to our own emotions and we make our own judgments. Reality is rarely what we're raised to believe it is. I'm going to leave you with that one. Mostly because these shadow readings can be quite heavy, and hopefully you feel like it shifted something for you. I love these cards that came out today, the messages that they carry, the little prompts and things that we need to be aware of. It's not easy listening to ourselves, to sit with those emotions, to allow those to come up, to feel them, but then where to move after that. If something is calling out to be given to yourself, please give it. Don't withhold that from you. We're moving through a chapter and we've got to walk out of that door. That was the old. It's not us now. And that's okay. I like that one. Let me know what you thought.